I'm here with Betsy Vandenhelm. Betsy, you were born in Netherlands in the countryside of Noord-Brabant, correct?
That's correct.
Around 1930, and you lived there till the 50s.
Yeah.
So,
29 I was born.
right.
Year 29 I was born.
Yeah, okay.
And 57 I left Holland.
Right, so as such, you're a survivor of World War II.
Yes, I was a survivor of World War
There's
II.
only a few World War II veterans around in Canada nowadays,
I know.
but there's plenty of survivors, I think, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
So, tell me, what was life like when you were little growing up on the farm there?
First we had depression, and then we did get a war. We were kind of poor, but we lived on a farm, so there was always food for us. I was from a big family, but then the people from the city came, and they, came begging for food. So my mother did have to give them food all the time. So we had less for that, but we never really suffered eating-wise, because we did get enough food. Not what we really needed, but we never really went hungry like the people in the north. They were really hungry. They died of starvation. We did not have that.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, yeah, that was a good part. But, we went through a lot of bombings and grenades, and we could not listen to the radio because you had to hide the radio. You had to give your bike off, all that you really had in your house, what was something worth, copper or silver, but we didn't have that. But then we were rationed, and we had cows, but we have to deliver the milk so much, we could only keep a little bit for ourselves. And then you could butcher a pig maybe once a year, and the rest you have to deliver for the German army. So we have to look after the Hitler and his people.
So
we were very, very poor.
So those were all restrictions?
All very much restrictions, because if you didn't keep yourself on that, you could go to camp, which my father was many times in danger of going to the camp, because he had to do things that my mother ordered him to do, because we had to eat and we have to drink,
He was in danger of going to the concentration camps?
Yes, a few times. He was very much in danger. And some people did, really.
That must have been scary.
Yeah, it was very, very, very scary, yeah.
Do you know anyone that was shipped off to Auschwitz?
Yes, yes. A few people in our neighborhood and now in the next village. I did not know them personally, but I know that has happened. And there were many boys who had to go to work in Germany who were hiding. And if they found them, they would bring them to camp right away, or sometimes shot them. We have seen that all.
They shot them?
Witnessed that all, yeah. It was a very frightening time.
Were you afraid that you or your family were being shipped off there?
We were afraid of my father, because my brothers were both too young. Yeah. But otherwise my brothers would have been in Germany working there too. Right. Yeah. But my father, we had a big family, and my father had to look after the family and look after his little farm he had. Yeah, he was home.
Right. Yeah. So just backtracking a little bit.
Yeah.
What are do you think the things you remember that first told you that something was wrong and that the Netherlands was changing?
That the Netherlands was changing when we went to school and the parachutes came down. And then we could all go home. And then they said Germany, Hitler...
Well, hang on, what do you mean by that?
Hitler invaded Holland.
Yeah.
And we did not have school. And then we knew that a war was on, but we didn't know what war really meant. But we soon found out what it all meant.
So what do you mean the parachutes came down? What are you talking about?
Soldiers.
Right, so you saw the soldiers touching down?
Yes, coming down, yeah.
The German soldiers?
Yeah, right. That was the beginning of the war.
Right.
And then we could not go to school for a little while, and then later on we went back to school, but then other things started up. We could not listen to the radio, we were on rations and coupons, and people have to go to work in Germany, and the young boys have to go away.
So it was very clear when it started?
Yeah.
Do you not remember any of the false alarms that happened first?
Yeah, sometimes the sirens went and then we had to go inside. But we did have an old farmhouse, so my father made a shelter outside in the ground. And there's where we went in when the bombs and the grenades would come.
So
and we spent there many a time. And also we had manholes. If we could not make it to the shelter, we could jump in a manhole. Then we were underground.
did you do that?
Yes, yes, I did.
Wow.
Yeah, it was horrible because I thought I'm dead. I thought if you're dead, you go in the ground too.
Oh,
I remember that. Yeah. Yeah.
So so life was pretty rough under the Third Reich.
Yeah, very rough. And worrisome because people didn't know if it would end soon.
Right.
And it took 5 years and the worst had still to come when they gathered up all the Jewish people.
Yeah.
And I had a Jewish girlfriend, and that was in 42. And we went all to school, and she had a star on it, and on the star was Jood. And they took her out of the school, and the train was waiting close by. And they hurled all, you know, was only one family in Geffen, in my little village. And that family went to the concentration camp the same day. But we never knew what exactly happened, but we knew that they went to the gas chambers.
Wow.
But we didn't know if it was Westerbork or the other ones, because we didn't know. There was no radio, you could actually listen to it. There was no TV, there was no knowing anything of it, you know.
So
You just have to hear gossip sometimes here and there.
So
And I think we protected through our parents because they did not tell us exactly everything either. You know, that we would not exactly know, but we know then that the Jews were all rounded up and going away.
Right, so when that first happened, you had no idea what was happening.
No, but we lived in a little village. But from the cities, it was different because there were more Jews. But in our village was only one family, and we knew them very well because I went with her to school. She was born in the same year than me, 29.
Interesting.
Yeah, and when I was with Opa, with my husband in Israel, I always wanted to go there, and we went to the museum of the Jews, and I did ask if they could find my girlfriend back in the books. And they asked her date, they asked her name, and which school, and which place, and I found it in few minutes. And I saw her name, Hetty van Dijk, her address and everything. I found her back in the books when I was in Israel.
And did it say what happened to her?
Yeah, that she was, you know, taken through the Germans and to the gas chambers. We knew that, but, you know, they had all the names in there. But there were also Jews. They were supposed to have not even been living, didn't have a name, because the Germans thought they were non-existing people. I don't know how to explain it, but they didn't want to know that they ever lived. So there were still Jewish people who are not mentioned at all, who are not written in the book either, who are killed.
That's tragic.
Yeah, and another, on top of that, I had a little bit a nose, it's true, like Jewish people. And they looked at me when they took my girlfriend.
Really?
Yes, but then, you know, I had sisters there and had family there. But yeah, that was another thing. We have a little bit of a crooked nose in my family. My daughter has it too, a little bit. But, you know, they could always know the Jews on short dark hair and on a little bit of a bent nose, I think. It was true.
So that must have been scary.
Yeah, it must have been, yeah.
What happened when Netherlands was liberated by the Allies? Was it back to normal, or did
not
life
right
get
away?
better?
But the people were so happy. It was dancing and singing and having orange on, you know, the flag from Holland and everything. And yeah, they were very happy. I had a dress on from a parachute that we saved from the parachute. So it came down. My sister made me a dress, red with yellow. And I had that on when we were dancing. I was 15 or 16 years old when the freedom came for us. And then we have to build Holland up, of course, because we have no windows in the house. The roof was broken. There was no electricity. There was no coal. There was no wood. The animals were shattered all over.
So it was a lot of work.
Yeah, a lot of work for my father and for us too.